can't kickbox with Nav. He can't strike with Nav. He's taken out most of them.
The UFC is definitely next. Nav was saying as well, he wants to be the first guy that fought in New Zealand, stayed in New Zealand, and fought in New Zealand, made it to the UFC.
Weigh-ins, I didn't have to, you know, cut much. I didn't like overeat or anything, feel bloated. First impressions, you know, seeing this guy, because he'd come from all the way from Saipan, sized up well. I don't know what he was, but he looked like he cut weight to make the heavyweight limit, which is like 120 kilos. So he was obviously coming in, you know, way bigger than me. I weighed in at about 106, and yeah, got a face off. He was ready to, you know, you can feel it when you look in the eyes. He was ready. He'd come to fight, yeah, for sure. Got to the venue and managed to kind of get a feel of the ring before I fought, before everyone came in, just to like visualize that cage and being in there and getting the feel of the canvas. Felt good. I've fought at an event finder so many times now. That pressure of you know, having to be the #1 guy, bringing in everyone on the card. So if I have to carry the card, then so be it. It's all good. I'll put that pressure on my back. Get into that fight. My warm-ups are pretty short, you know, I don't have no rituals or anything that I go through. I just kind of start moving around and I'm good to go. Walking out, feel strong, feel present, you know. I think if I can be present, that's the best thing. Just hearing the ring announcer going through all the motions, you know, I've been there before so many times, whether it be cage or the ring. 4-ounce gloves or 10-ounce gloves, it doesn't really matter to me anymore.
On your left, go brother! Oh you, Nav! Oh you! Let's go now! Let's go now!
Touch gloves, he come out firing. I think if there was a way for him to win, it was to really put it all on in that first round. He bit on a few of my feints that I was throwing, and I think after that he just went, you know what, I'm just gonna go. The first right hand he threw, I moved into it. I blocked it and I went to pummel the left underhook after the first right hand he threw. And as I went to pummel that underhook in, he doubled up the right hand and clipped me on my temple, and that was the first shot that actually wobbled me. Even though I was still a bit dazed, I could tell he was fading, so if I could just protect that right side of my temple, I would be okay. Once I wrapped him up, I think it was the last time that I wrapped him up for the cage, I pressed him against the fence and felt him take deep breaths in. Originally I was trying to get that single leg off, just a regular single leg, and I felt his hips were still like flexed by the time I pulled him off the cage, and I realized, if I can get under him. So I pulled him off the cage and I got my hips under, and then after that he just went up like a feather. It wasn't heavy at all, it was all technique. Went through what I wanted to show off, which was the heavy ground and pound. I remember just looking up like, you know, what did I tell you, you know? So I knew it was going to be a finish. A bit gutted there, it wasn't around long enough, but it's the fight game, you never know what's going to happen. To come out on top is always good, especially with those 4-ounce gloves. He's definitely the hardest puncher I've ever had to face. 2-0, let's go. Not too long now. I think once I get that 3-0 to 4-0, there's no real anyone else for me to fight, so I'll be looking for that UFC contract. I believe I got the star power to come with it, and you know, trying to get on all these platforms, put more stuff out for you guys, just so you know who I am, and yeah, you'll be along with me every step of the way.
Navajo Stirling, first round Batista bomb. He said, fuck your MMA, bro. That's a cut.